So to manage our time, I'll expect that the resource persons would be giving their, thoughts and initial position on the two types of bills that I mentioned. We don't have to go into details. That's not the time for today. Yung specific na amendments nyo per section. Just the general. Ano, do you agree, disagree, and any suggestions on how to generally strengthen, no, this concept, which I would think most of us here agree with, or what are the safeguards that the private sector, the other agencies want us to consider, because there will be a time for the details per section, per line during the TWG. So having said that, I will call on Department of Energy, USEC, Inocencio, you have the floor.
Madam Chair, would like to Department of Energy would like to express our support in the various bills that have been presented, especially as regards the requirement for government buildings to install RE as a source of its power. We have already submitted our proposed sections or provisions that would at least empower or operationalize these measures. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Little bit naman.
Eh,
Kayo
yes,
naman yung pinaka-importante, so feel free to elaborate a little.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, number one, would like to request for a provision that will allow government agencies to have a multi-year contract, because this would mean that when a government agency would have to ask for a contractor for installation, that most of these contracts would come like a BOT, and therefore they would have to be allowed to have a multi-year contract. Another suggestion is for the use of this energy cost savings as a source of funds for them to pay off this contractors. Also, we'd like to have a provision that the DOE will be able to give technical assistance to these government agencies, and that when it comes to the contracting, there is under the RA 11285, the Energy Efficiency Act, we have an interagency composed of several agencies, and there is a circular or resolution number 5, which has incorporated an energy service performance contracting, which is something that can help out these government agencies in contracting for this energy saving devices. Thank you, Madam.
Save my questions for later, no, so that we can get overview, no, for everything. But I think you're just commenting on the renewable energy in government offices. How about any amendments to the Renewable Energy Act?
Ma'am, as regards the net metering, of course, it's also a welcome legislations to us. We just have to would like to request that as regards the identification of the pricing methodology and the limitations, which is also suggested in some of the legislations, that ERC be the one empowered as regards the pricing, ma'am.
So sorry, what's your statement about it?
That the ERC would have be the agency that will determine.
Okay,
yes.
so that's your proposal.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
ERC will be because as you correctly pointed out, merong mga medyo may details on the pricing here.
Yes.
So basically, to exclude that and let PRC handle it. That's your position.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I just want everyone to also make their comments on that now when you have the floor. Okay, so okay, we can leave it at that for now. Thank you. So Senator Marcoleta, since it's just the two of us, no, feel free to interject. I do intend to ask more questions later, pero for quick clarifications, feel free. Normally, pag marami kasi, I don't allow kasi hahaba, tas isang tao pa lang nakakausap natin, isang oras na. Pero since dalawa lang naman po tayo, sir, just, if it's just like a quick clarification like I did, just go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. As to the proposals presented by the DOE, they appear to be acceptable, madam. Wala akong makitang problema. I think makakagaan pa nga sa pagpapatupad ng batas sakaling ito ay maisabatas natin. Salamat po.
Thank you. So, as I said, let's go on sa ERC, Attorney Francis Saturnino Juan, the chairperson of ERC. Welcome, sir, and you have the floor. Then, as I said, be ready, Nea, and after that, DPWH.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Regarding our comments on or inputs and suggestions on the proposed bills to amend RE, kung titingnan po natin, nagsimula yung net metering, o in fact, yung implementation ng mga incentive mechanism sa RE Act, doon sa implementasyon natin ng feed-in tariff system na sinimula ng ERC way back 2010. Tapos sinigundahan ito nung pag-issue ng ERC doon sa nabalangkas na net metering interconnection rules na nagawa natin sa pakikipagtulungan sa NREB. Now, in the implementation of the net metering, marami tayo nakitang barriers. At isa nga dito, yung sinasabi nila yung 100 kilowatt na limitasyon. Saan ba nanggaling yung 100 kilowatt na limitasyon? Nandito ito kasi sa definition ng distributed generation, nasa batas. Sinabi dito, system of small generating entities, na ang isang generation entity may maximum lang na 100 kilowatt. Yun po ang pinanggalingan nung 100 kilowatt. Pero wala po yan sa definition ng net metering. Dahil sa net metering, ang sinabi lang dito, mayroon lang na ito yung definition, pero mayroon dong banggit na distributed generation. Kaya nung iniugnay namin ito doon sa definition ng distributed generation, nandun na, nag-apply na yung 100 kilowatt pagdating sa net metering. Pero kung titingnan po natin yung section 10, nandun naman sa section 10, ibang definition ng distributed generation kasi system of generating entities. Pero pagdating sa net metering mismo, yung provision na naglalaman nitong net metering, nakalagay doon, distribution end users. So, marami kasing pwedeng ipakalugan nito at ang pupunto ako mamaya po doon sa proposal natin na paghiwalayin natin ang konsepto ng distributed generation dahil malaki ang potential nito para tayo makapag-transition. Wala tayong limitasyon sa capacity at yung mga pwedeng magsipagtayo nito, pwede silang magsipagtayo hindi dahil meron silang excess na kanilang na-generate, kundi as a business. Dahil yung mga iba na mayroong mga available na rooftop, pwede silang magnegosyo under that model, yung distributed generation, hindi net metering. Pagdating naman po sa net metering, ito ay limitado kasi meron dito na distributed end users. Ang naging disenyo po nung ginawang net metering na interconnection at saka yung pricing methodology ng ERC, nung po nagsisimula tayo, ay sinabi natin, lahat ng ma-generate ng isang net metering end user, ikaw ang kumonsumo na. At kung meron ka lang excess dahil maliit ang iyong konsumo, yon ang memetrohan at ma-export mo sa iyong distribution utility. At ito ay babayaran katumbas noong average na generation charge ng distribution utility. Bakit? Kasi ito ay extra mo na. Kumbaga, ang naging thinking noong nagsisimula tayo, itong mga kapasidad o yung installation na ilalagay mo sa bubong mo, ito ay yung sasapat lang para sa yung peak requirement. Pero ngayon, nagpabago na yun kasi bumababa na rin yung presyo ng mga solar at pupwede na nga din, meron ka pang extra space, bakit hindi mo lagyan? Ngayon, ang pricing po ay yung equivalent sa average generation charge ni distribution utility. Noong unang panahon, sinasabi nila 9 per kilowatt hour yung cost nung solar na yon na produce, na i-export. Tapos ang bayad lang sa kanya 4. So marami ang nag-advocate. Gawin nyo yung pricing methodology kung ano yung retail rate para kung ang retail rate ng utility ay 10 piso kasi kasama doon yung other taxes, yung distribution, supply metering, and others, edi, bawi kami. Sobra-sobra. Oh, please, Rat. Marami pa ako sasabihin po. Kasi, yun po yung mga naging problema. Kaya, yun yung pricing methodology natin. Pero ngayon, bumaba na yung cost ng solar. Tumaas na yung generation charge. 8 na ang Meralco. So ngayon, kung ang cost mo na per kilowatt hour solar mo na itatayo ay nasa 6 na lang. Tapos, ang iyong retail rate total, ang gusto mo mangyari ay yung retail rate, 15 pesos. Sobrang paldo na yun. Pero kung yung current na pricing methodology ang gagamitin, nasa 8 meron ka pa rin kita, meron pa rin insentibo. At bukod doon, yung nakonsumo mo, nagamit mo. Ang katumbas na halaga nung kinonsumo mo ay 15, yung retail rate. Hindi yung 8 lang na generation charge ni Meralco. So yun po yung rationale behind that pricing methodology. Pero nagbabago-bago din po kasi pwede na yung disenyo sana ay lahat ng mapuproduce ng isang net metering end user, ibato niya sa utility at yung kukonsumo niya ay ikonsumo niya sa mula sa utility. Ano ang consequence nito? Ang consequence nito, hindi makaka-cannibalize yung negosyo ng utility. Bakit? Kasi nga, kung parami ng parami, yung net metering, yung mga magsosolar sa atin, liliit at yung based on current na design, liliit yung sales ni Meralco. At pagka nagkaganon, dahil maliit na ang base mo, lalaki ngayon ang katumbas na distribution charge niyan. At sino ang sasagot niyan? Ang sasagot niyan ay yung mga ibang customer na yung captive customer at yung even contestable customer na tataas yung distribution charge dahil kukonti na lang yung sales ni distribution utility. So yun din po ang dapat na babantayan. Dahil yun na lang po. Of course, ang position lang namin is kung meron tayong flexibility, maayos lang yung definition ng distributed generation, ng net metering, yung net metering section 10, maayos din po. At kung sa off-grid, kung matanggal lang po yung designation sa chapter 3, chapter 4 ng on-grid renewable energy development, tapos sa isa off-grid. Kasi po yung section 10, nandun sa chapter ng on-grid. Kaya, nung nagsisimula kami, hindi namin ma-decidean kasama ba dito ang off-grid? Kasi nandun sa chapter on-grid. Pero pagdating sa RPS, kahit yung sa section 6 ng RPS, nandun din, meron din katumbas na provision doon sa off-grid development. Kung tanggalin na lang yung mga chapter na yun, gawin na lang ang renewable energy development, masosolve po natin yun at may encourage pa natin ng net metering, distributed generation sa mga off-grid. Lalo doon kailangan.
That will suffice for the initial comments. Thank you. Just a quick remark. Yung mga ganito kasing technology, 2008 is actually 18 years ago. Seems like yesterday lang. But it is 18 years ago. So it's high time naman that we review it. And for me as a legislator, I understand where when this was drafted, hindi na napoproject lahat ng mga nangyari. So, for me, very telling yung sinabi nyo nga na foresee ba natin, nung ginawa to, na-foresee ba yung time na parami na, ng parami, like, bawat bubong, magkakaroon na. And that's really, and by the way, repeat ko, yung chairmanship ko dun sa isang committee, Sustainable Development Goals, Innovation, Futures Thinking. So, it's my job to listen carefully and try to visualize what you're trying to describe, na that day will come na lahat. Parang, hindi yata possible na walang may solar on top of their roof. Lahat na meron. So what do we do? This really has to be clarified and even changed, and we have to keep on innovating. So thank you for that, and of course we'll listen to everybody else's comment. Very interesting.